Hello, everybody. It's CiNEMACHiNE Live. I'm here with Brandon.
Hello there.
Now, Brandon, how you been? How was your
And
Thanksgiving?
you're Al.
I am Al, but they know that. How was your Thanksgiving?
It was good. Had at one point I had 31 adults in my house, like 6 kids, 7 dogs,
Sounds like a nightmare.
more dogs than kids,
Mm,
and 1 cat. But
yeah. And a
it actually went pretty well.
partridge in a pear tree. That sounds like a lot
How
of
was
people.
yours? You went home.
I went home, hung out with the fam. And then I came home and I had my movie club over for our Christmas party, our Christmas movie watching, because we're not going to be able to meet in December because everybody's so busy. So we went ahead and did that. So we'll talk about what we watched later, but it was a lot of fun. It was the first time they had been over to my new house. So that was nice for them to see. But they were like, they were like, yeah, there's nothing on the walls. So I just don't really like a whole lot of stuff on the walls. So whatever.
Yeah. You got to get on that.
I'm not really, I like it without. Anyway, well, Brandon, do you want to tell them where they can find us before we get started here?
Sure. Once again, we are CiNEMAChiNE. You can find everything that we do at cinemachinepod.com. There, obviously, YouTube link, in addition to Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. We are on Patreon. If you feel so inclined to throw us some dollars on Patreon, we will welcome that. And yeah, hit the like and subscribe button, notification bell, all that jazz, so that you know when we're doing this thing we call CiNEMAChiNE. We try and keep it as regular as possible, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 9 as far as CiNEMAChiNE Capecast, and then Al sporadically will, surprise you with a Criterion
Seems
episode.
to be working.
So stay in the loop for that.
Criterion month is over. Pretty bummed. I do have one more that I bought that I didn't get to put on a video because it came yesterday in the mail because I had to pre-order it. So we'll talk about that when we get to physical media later. But speaking of physical media, one of the most popular movies, if not the most popular movie of the year, Dune, will be on Blu-ray January 11th. And it is chock full of goodies. Now, the DVD, if you're planning on just getting the DVD, you're not going to get all of this. You're only going to get one of the features, the Royal Houses, but they pretty much go into everything. I mean, there's House of Atreides, House of Harkonnen, the Fremen, the Spice Melange. I mean, they have how they made the sandworms, the ornithopter. You're ready for it. So there's a few versions coming out. There's a steelbook version, 4K, and the Blu-ray. So I'm interested to know, Tony from Basement Blues, how many of those you're going for. Are you just going for the steelbook, or are you going for all of them? Brandon?
I think you know the answer to that.
Yeah, they're gonna make him a special edition just for him. Only one.
Yeah,
Brandon, I know that you're gonna end up picking this up.
Yeah.
Now let me ask you this: is this let's say it's $30 because it is. So it says on December 3rd you can watch this VOD or digital ownership. But the thing is that
there's your answer.
All of them. There you
Surprise.
Go. They will be mine. That's the
resting shock face.
That's the drop we got to get. Oh yes, they'll be mine. But no, on December 3rd they say you can watch it at home with premium ownership, digital ownership. However, when I was back home, I was going to watch this with my nephew, and we couldn't make it to the theater just because of the hustle and bustle of the holiday. And of course, it was off of HBO Max. So I went to say, we'll see if we can rent it, and it was already available to buy on Vudu anyway. So if anybody's looking to just do that and not get a physical copy, you can go ahead and do that. But is this a full price purchase for you, Brandon, or are you going to wait for it to go on sale? What do you think?
I think I'll probably end up waiting because I saw it, I think, at least 3 times. And, well, maybe 4, including theater. So I'm not like chomping at the bit to see it right away.
Yeah.
So I'll probably give it a little bit of time, but not too long. I do want to revisit. So
does that mean you're not going after the Steelbook? Because that'll probably be sold out pretty quickly.
I don't ever seek out the Steelbooks. The only Steelbooks that I have are ones that have like been on the rack for a while and they put on sale.
Yeah. Speaking of, I noticed Whiplash was only $6, I think, at Best Buy on Steelbook. So if anybody wants that,
I have that one. Best Buy will occasionally do those Steelbook sales, and if it's something that I've like not kind of checked off the list that I've been waiting to drop in price, I'll pick up. But.
So I do want to mention that these next few months, I'm just going to name off a couple titles, but like the next couple months are chock full of physical media releases. I mean, hey, if anybody's a Jean-Claude Van Damme fan, Hard Target does come out next week. I'm just saying. But so does Roger Rabbit 4K. The Krampus that I'm after, the Naughty edit.
Naughty cut.
I can't fathom spending $30 on that, but have a feeling that I might have to. But no, then you go through this month, you have French Connection coming out. French Dispatch, not French Connection. French Dispatch coming out at the end of this month. But you also have No Time to Die coming out just 4 days before Christmas, and the Many Saints of Newark. And the No Time to Die has like Ultimate Edition that I haven't seen a price on it, but I have a feeling it's going to be over $150 the way it looks, just how much stuff is in there. But then you come over.
Tony can probably let you know. He's probably got it figured out and pre-ordered. But yeah, it didn't have a list price on Amazon.
But then you come over to January and you have Dune on January 11th. Same day Halloween Kills comes out on Steelbook and 4K and everything. So I mean,
I think the Last Duel also comes out in December.
I believe so. I believe so. I wasn't. I was just
Last Night in Soho. Is it coming out in December as well? I can't remember.
I didn't see it, but that doesn't mean it's not.
We talked about it on a previous episode.
I know it was coming out on VOD. It's already on VOD.
It's going on demand November 19th, so that's already happened.
Yeah. Now, also, the Criterion will be releasing in January The Piano, which is a great movie. That's one that I'll have to get on the next sale. And Arrow is, I guess, re-released in a couple, or pulling some out of the vault or whatever, but they're re-releasing quite a few. But yeah, I mean, just these next couple months. And then, Brandon, February 1st, I have a feeling both you and I will have this. The Wayne's World 2-pack.
4K?
It's not 4K. No, it's Blu-ray.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they have some new special features on there, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
I could be mistaken, though. But also, one of my favorite movies from when I was a kid comes out, Summer School. But yeah, I mean, just there's so many releases. And also, there's so many in between. So definitely hit up Blu-ray.com if you're interested in looking at those. But so many.
Tony is looking for a collection set.
Okay.
Are you saying like the entire legacy, not just the Craig?
Or do you want one
collection?
particular movie that is a collector set? I know that's not what you said, but I'm asking for my own clarification. Also, 4K Almost Famous comes out in February.
Mm.
Yeah. So yeah,
I think Blu-ray.com just put out reviews for Roger Rabbit.
I will say that packaging for the steelbook looks pretty sharp. I'm not a big. Oh, Daniel Craig complete set. I think one of those was on sale during. I saw one on sale during.
I think it's the one that they put out prematurely. You know how they do that, where they'll release
before this last movie. Yeah.
I never
the last two movies.
Tony, I'm interested. Do you buy those incomplete sets like the Harry Potter, like
7 movies
films, not the last 2, those kind of things?
Well, that's
I've never been like, when you know that there's another one coming out, like I'm always like, why?
Yeah.
Who would buy this? But maybe Tony's one of those people because he's a completionist. So
well, now you know that person. I bought the Harry Potter set, and I already owned the final 2-parter movie, the final 2 movies that was 2-parter. And the set that I got was premature before the final 2-parter. Yes, and now I want the complete Daniel Craig set since this will be his last. So shut your mouth, Brandon.
Sorry. Didn't mean no offense.
Do you have any movies on your Christmas list that you're wanting, or do you just kind of hold off and buy those yourself because you're scared somebody, not scared, but you don't trust your family to buy you the right edition, or what?
Yeah, I don't make a Christmas list for one, but
neither.
I just movies, I buy those. People know not to buy me things like that because that's part of the fun for me, is like hunting for deals, and you know how it is.
Thrill of the hunt. Well, while we're talking about it, about physical media, I do want to tell everybody out there, there is a Citizen Kane, the 4K that just came out on Criterion. They do have an offer going for the replacement disc. Now, the way you have to do this is pretty crazy. You have to, now I'll tell you this. I went through this with the Arrow Donnie Darko. Okay. I had to get a replacement disc. All you had to do for that was sign up for on a list, and they just sent it to you. You had to prove that you purchased it. Or if you ordered it through a particular online source, they went ahead and put you on the list and such. So now I'll be talking about this a little bit more later, but I do have the Citizen Kane here. So what do you have to do? You have to open this beautiful 4-disc set and do one of 2 things to the disc. You have to either mail the disc in and, get on the list, or you have to crack it in half, take a picture of that, write on it certain things, and then put yourself and send that picture in to put yourself on the list. I don't like either one of those options. It's just like, how does that benefit you? How does, you have an issue. So Criterion, make it right without having to make everybody jump through hoops. You know what I mean? It's just kind of silly. Yeah. So I don't know if anybody out there agrees with me or disagrees with me.
What's the issue?
I think it's at the 30-minute mark. There's like I haven't watched it yet because I just got it yesterday, but I believe it's like a color, like a sound or something issue. I think right at the 30-minute mark. So I did have somebody mention that via comments and everything that they didn't have an issue, that they didn't feel like they had an issue. So they felt all right. Now, this deal to get the disc is only good for the next 1 to 2 months. Now, they did have some old instructions, but they have updated those instructions. Now, the good thing about it is, I will say this, they are adding a $10 gift card to the Criterion, to criterion.com. They are adding a $10 gift card in there for that. So that's good for 1/3 of a movie. So that works. But I mean, that's still a nice thing. I don't even think they owe me that. The thing I would like for them to do is just not make us jump through so many freaking hoops. That's all I can really say. Have you ever
Yeah.
had to mail anything back like that, or have a?
The only one I've ever had to do was when Gladiator was
Mhm.
released on Blu-ray and the
Mhm.
Sapphire edition.
Oh yeah.
They something I think it was a lip sync type thing that happened.
Okay.
And all you had to do was I think you just had to take your proof of purchase to like Best Buy, and they re-released like
Mm.
the fixed one with a different color proof of purchase,
Mhm.
and you just went and got that one, and that was
Right.
it, I believe. But yeah, that's the only one that I've ever ran into where
Yeah. I don't
something
know
like
how
that.
others feel about it, but I feel like it's a little bit too much to have to do. Um, but whatever. I had to order this through the mail because I didn't want to miss out on it. The particular Barnes and Noble that's nearest me doesn't have the greatest, like the largest selection. They have a pretty good selection, just not the largest. So
Yeah,
yeah, I'm getting sadder and sadder every time I walk into these stores. For a minute, while we're talking about physical media, man, Black Friday was a bummer for movies. I mean, usually we're geared up and we're like, Yahoo! Like we're gonna get all these movies, and usually I end up getting like I don't know, like back in the day before Disney Plus, I would get a Disney movie for all the kids in my family as like an extra gift for them. Um, and then I would always, since I was going out anyway with my sister, I would always look out for things for you or anybody else that asked me to.
yeah,
But even online, um, I mean, I ended up buying some stuff just because it was Black Friday, and I was like, I'm gonna buy some stuff, but it was just like regular sales. It wasn't like steep or anything major for movies. Um, but not only movies, it was really everything while we were out this year.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. I mean, it seemed like for the most part, they went ahead and had those sales a week or two early. As far as what went on sale a week or two early
right?
was the Black Friday price type stuff.
Yeah,
Um, which I mean, it would have been nice to know that because then I wouldn't be like anticipating
yeah. You kind of get geared
things
up for the
because
Super Bowl,
I was like holding off on buying things. I'm like, oh, sorry, this price. Then what's it going to be when it gets
right?
Black Friday?
Right.
So
Well, I'm glad that we did buy the Green Knight because it's already back up to like 17.99 or whatever. So
mhm.
glad I got that one for sure. But I bought some others that we'll talk about later. But I just wanted to talk about overall just Black Friday in general. My sister likes to go, and my mom likes to go. So I kind of go as like the driver slash security for them. Now we don't go and fight crowds or anything like that. We actually go after everything is settled down. These last 2 years, there hasn't been anything too settled down because of what's been going on in the world. Um, but even my sister and my mom, who don't go after movies, they go after bigger items for their kids or well, for my sister's kids, or my mom goes just really to shop with my sister. Um, they were both like, yeah, there's nothing's really like clothes and stuff like that just weren't what where it used to be. And I agree with you. I think a lot of people were holding off, uh, thinking, well, the deals will be better on Black Friday. So um,
Yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, I typically reserve any kind of Black Friday purchasing to online stuff anyway, but it seemed like just looking at the ads
Right.
that brick and mortar retailers didn't really put an emphasis on physical media to begin with.
No.
Um, so
I think Target had the most, like the largest presence of buy two get one free of books, music, and movies.
yeah,
Um, but I will say that like Sound of Vinyl had a 40% off sale site wide, and I hit that pretty hard. So, um, but we'll talk about all that later. I just wanted to talk about how uh, it is it is quite sad, and I think it's a sign of times where I do believe boutique shops like Criterion, Arrow, so on and so forth will take over the physical media industry because of all the streaming services, like we've talked about. I think all the streaming services are just going to be like, well, we don't need to put out physical media anymore. Disney's, I don't think they feel obligated to do that at all anymore. I mean, they've even said so to a certain degree. So,
Yeah.
um, anyway, back to the movie news, Brandon.
Mhm.
Let us know how you guys feel out there about physical media. Did you pick any up, Tony? Did you pick any 4Ks up on Best Buy's deals? I picked up a couple, and we'll talk about those. But Leonardo DiCaprio, Brandon,
Mm.
is going to be playing cult leader Jim Jones in a new flick. So, um,
Yeah,
I
I don't.
know.
I know that you don't like DiCaprio, but I enjoy pretty much anything he's in. I don't know a lot about the Jonestown massacre.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's one of those things where you know tangentially a little bit of stuff about it.
Right. Everybody
I
drinking
assume
the
like drinking
Kool-Aid.
the Kool-Aid. Yeah, that's where
Yeah.
that comes from. So yeah, I know the gist of it, but this would be a good excuse to kind of dive into it because I these types of things, these true like life stories. I remember watching like Zodiac and watching just recently watching the Waco series. Like that got me super like interested in like researching the real event, watching documentaries, that kind of thing. So this type of adaptation, that kind of stuff, like cult leader type stories, are super compelling to me personally. So
Homework.
yeah,
You just start your
yeah.
own cult. Is that why you live way out there?
I
Well,
mean, I'm already part of the Snyder cult, so um,
ugh,
you know,
ugh. Yeah. So the writer Scott Rosenberg, whose previous work was Con Air, Disturbing Behavior, and the Jumanji franchise, which that sounds like a home run right there. All that. That's a hodgepodge of movies.
Tony
I
got
got
20.
about 20 and posted a video of, and I got to
He's
go
like,
back and watch. I
he's
literally
like,
just got back in town.
I'm not telling you. Go watch the video.
Yeah,
I
everybody go watch Tony's
I
video.
respect it, Tony.
Yeah. I will go watch that video. I promise. I literally have hit the ground running since I've been home. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. It could be good. I'm not gonna say that I'm excited about it right now, but hey, I can always be swayed
Yeah.
somewhere.
So they don't have a director yet. That'll be interesting to see who they end up tapping to direct.
Yeah, yeah, because DiCaprio's production company is producing this, so
Yeah.
we'll see what happens. In other casting news, Nicolas Cage is going to be Dracula in Universal and Chris McKay's Rhinefeld. So
Is it Reinfeld
that
or Renfield?
Renfield, yeah, that's what it is. Okay, so um, this I, I can see it working just because of the description of Dracula. Nicolas Cage is a good actor when he wants to be, when he's not just trying to pay his bills and just get a paycheck. Um, so this could work. I do have Pig ready to watch now. It's on Hulu, so I'm very excited about that. So,
Yeah.
does this spark your interest, Brandon?
Yeah, I mean it's on a couple levels, honestly. I mean, I will see anything that Cage is in, and yeah, I mean he kind of he's he's multifaceted as of late in terms of what type of movie that he does. But his involvement is interesting. The whole Universal Monster universe, like their new approach. I'm very much behind in terms of like because I enjoyed Invisible Man. I was excited for the Wolfman, but recently Lee Whannell dropped out of that. Apparently, I didn't know that. So I'm not sure who's kind of taking the helm on that one. But I do like that they're kind of, because originally, they were going to do this like shared universe, monster universe thing, starting with Tom Cruise's The Mummy. They had all this like stuff planned, and then that movie kind of didn't do well, and so they abandoned all that. So
they have that whole
now that
spread.
Now that it seems like Blumhouse is kind of taking over, I believe Blumhouse is behind it, and they're just kind of doing smaller, kind of shoestring budget indie efforts. That's interesting. And then Chris McKay, I really enjoy him. I mean, the things that he's known for, really two things: Lego Batman and recently Tomorrow World. What's it called? Is that what it's called? Tomorrow World? Tomorrow War.
Tomorrow.
I said it and I was like, that didn't seem right. But I enjoyed that.
Just not know, man.
And so yeah, I'm interested. I think then they poured a little bit of cold water on it this like the day after this news came out that Awkwafina is going to be in it as well. So okay, not as interested in that element unless they tone her down, because she's like, I just watched Shang-Chi she's in, and she's not like super annoying in that one. And there's, what is it, the Raya and the Lost Dragon. Actually, she wasn't terrible in either. So she's hit or miss for me, but usually she's a little too much. She falls into that category of like Melissa McCarthy or any of these like over the top, kind of very loud presence, and it's just not my jam. So, but yeah, I am interested. Yeah, I mean, Dracula is not something that, it's not like, an IP that I like have some sort of, nostalgia for, or I don't even know if I've really seen a Dracula, like an actual like Dracula. This is.
Did you ever
like,
see Bram Stoker's Dracula? No.
Didn't
That's
see that.
Cheesy.
I know that probably the most recent one was Dracula Untold. Maybe there's been one since then. I mean, it's a property that they kind of go back to.
Well, yeah, I mean, those, I personally like Tim Burton's take on Dracula in his Ed Wood movie with Bela Lugosi. That was fun. So, but I can't say I'm the big. I mean, everybody, it's iconic. I would say I'm more of a Frankenstein fan if I had to go with one of the monsters. Frankenstein's monster, but I think really that's just a grouping of movies that they're going to try to kick down the road as many times as they possibly can. So, just to keep the IP.
Yeah. I imagine, I don't know how it seems like that would fall into the category of like,
public domain.
Yeah.
You would think, but Universal's had a kind of like the corner on the market for a long time with them. So that's why they call them the Universal Monsters. So, and they still have stuff at their parks based on the Universal Monsters. So, all right. Well, let's talk about some movies that will be coming out. Let's talk about some trailers. Did you watch the trailer for Mother Android coming out on Hulu?
I did, and I apologize I didn't send y'all. I usually the day of send y'all links to all these trailers that I have on here, and then I forgot to today.
I've got them. I'm capable.
Yeah, I watched this. I was excited when I saw the premise of it, and then when what's the girl's name? Chloe Grace Moretz.
Mm-hmm.
I like her. She took a like sabbatical from acting for a while, and then came back and has taken on some more lackluster roles. Most recently, I think she was in Tom and Jerry.
Yeah, she was.
And now this, honestly just looks, as far as production, it doesn't. It looks like
like a
looks
TNT?
like a ABC show or something. Like, it doesn't look, and it might I mean, it's going to be on Hulu, so that doesn't necessarily mean high budget. And they kind of, I mean, ABC, I believe, is under the same umbrella.
Yeah, they're all owned by the same folks.
Yeah.
Disney.
But yeah, it wasn't. It didn't deliver on its promise to me in terms of a trailer. And
Yeah.
her in particular, I really want her to take on some better projects, because I think she's a good actress, and I don't know if she fell under bad graces with Hollywood because she was originally cast as the Little Mermaid in the live action, and then she dropped out and was retiring from acting or taking time off. And so I wonder if maybe her doing that caused some friction in terms of getting additional work later on. I don't know.
Maybe. Well, I mean, she's not like one of those children actors that had like a hit movie like a Home Alone or something like that, to where she's only known for that. I think she's one of those people that people be like, oh, okay, it's that girl. A lot, like I would say, like my mom would probably, oh, I've seen that girl in something before. But
Yeah.
so I don't think she has that going against her. So I think, and I do think she's a good little actress. I think she's like
Did you
20
see the
years old.
Carrie remake she was in?
I did. It was not good. Yeah. It tried so hard to be hip and cool, and I don't know. The original Carrie's just so good; it's hard to live up to that. So, but no, she wasn't bad in it. She was good in it. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But the movie itself just wasn't good. But no, I think she's a good little actress. I think she's like 20 years old, something like that. So she's got a big career ahead of her. Maybe she's just trying to work around. You know how a lot of those Disney actresses, they kind of do like I'm sexy now. Look at me with show my belly button and stuff. Maybe she's doing a more mature version of that, trying to get people to forget she's a child actor, and working her way up the ranks. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know, but it's good to see her in things. I did see something she was in. It was like a straight to Blu-ray movie. It was like she was in some kind of war or something, and it just didn't interest me. But yeah, I agree with you. It'd be nice to see her in some bigger title roles.
Yeah.
Then we have Riz Ahmed in Encounter.
Riz Ahmed is kind of everywhere when it comes to like
he's got range,
grounded. Like it's very not necessarily specific. I know he's not doing another movie we talked about the other day. That to me was very similar in tone with Sound of Metal. I can't remember what the premise was though. That's the thing. Like it kind of
of this movie.
No, the other one that we talked about.
One more thing about Mother Android I wanted to say is it had extreme They Live vibes to me. Like they were like, even when the faces came off the androids, aliens, whatever they are, it had a very They Live look to them. And it looked like it was trying to be like a very serious They Live. But yeah, no, this movie is also about aliens. So this is one of those subject matters that I get kind of tired of. I'm not really into the whole alien, what if they stole my child or whatever. It just doesn't really interest me that much. But I will say that I like him as an actor, and I'll give this movie a shot for sure. I don't know how you feel about this.
Yeah.
And it's a Prime
No, I mean,
Video
I liked
movie,
it.
so.
And I think that regardless of subject matter, I think for me, Riz Ahmed definitely is one of those actors that I will at least give the benefit of the doubt when he's involved. So, yeah, I mean, as far as I think this one's Amazon Prime release. It's also got Octavia Spencer in it. And yeah, I mean, as far the subject matter does lean itself to me because I'm kind of into that kind of thing. But it had like it reminded me a lot of, well, Arrival to a degree in terms of like the kind of tone and the cinematography was a little reminiscent of that.
Mhm.
Um, and then also, what was the Midnight Special?
Oh, with why can't I remember his name? Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, Michael. What's his name? I can't think of people's names.
Yeah, trust me, it gets worse.
Anyway, yeah. Um, he and Uncle Owen, those named characters. Zod and Uncle Owen, Midnight Special. Um, but yeah, similarly to that. But yeah, no, I'm super. The prime element. It's also like, yeah, it's going to be here at home, so it's the commitment. It doesn't take a lot of investment,
Yeah.
um, but yeah, I'm uh I'm excited. I think that one. When is it? It comes out December 3rd. It comes out. No, that's theaters. Prime Video December 10th. So
So
they're
next
doing
week,
a week
next
theatrical
free
for it.
day. So yeah, that'd be one. I'm sure we'll want to at least talk about it here. I don't know if we'll do a full review, but we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So and Sound of Metal was last year. So for some reason, I was thinking because that was also on Prime,
I think
but
that was that your favorite movie of the year last year?
it may have been. It was either two or one. I can't remember.
I think it was pretty high on Ryan's list. I mean, it was on my. I don't know if it was on my list. I can't remember. Last year was so long ago, Brandon.
It
Um,
was a year ago.
was it? Oh,
Hmm.
interesting. So then we had Jurassic World Dominion prologue. um, this was just like this kind of felt like at the beginning of this, it kind of felt like okay, we've seen a lot of this before. And they kind of lull you into a comfort zone. And then they're like, oh crap, broke loose. And now you're
Yeah.
at like the drive-in and you're all over the place in the city and whatnot. So if they do this right, it could be a lot of fun.
Yeah. I think this footage was shown at like CinemaCon one
Mm,
year, like maybe last year or some event. And because I remember people talking about them showing the actual prehistoric era with the dinosaurs and them having like feathers and
mm,
um, and I showed this to Luna and my nephew when it dropped, and they were like, Cleet was like, my nephew was like, what are they? Why do they why do they look like that? And I was like, well, I think this is supposed to be set, in the prehistoric time because a lot of scientists believe that they actually, I mean, they even talk about that. I think in the first Jurassic Park that they were like birds, he's talking about
mm,
velociraptors being more like birds.
yeah.
Um, and and yeah, a lot of people believe that our interpretation of what they would look like is kind of wrong, but we've just kind of ran with it. Whenever you see any kind of visualization. Um, so yeah, it's interesting to see, and I guess it does have a story element to it in terms of like um, them taking the DNA. They show in this trailer the mosquitoes landing and getting the DNA and that kind of thing um, before it transitions to modern day. But having them in what is presumed to be their more realistic state in the beginning of this, and then them taking that DNA, embedding it with frog DNA, making them more reptilian, gives credence to at least is like a headcanon type thing to give to, because the dinosaurs that exist in Jurassic Park, Jurassic World are the kind that we um, I guess think of whenever we think of a dinosaur. Um, so, but yeah, as I did you watch the Battle of Big Rock, the little
No,
mini like short that Trevorrow did last
no,
year, I think, or maybe it was, I don't know if it may have been 2 years ago at this point. Um,
never did watch it.
it's good. Um,
Well, well, well.
it's a good little.
Nani
What's
G's in
up?
the house. Hey, hey, Nani. Hey,
Hey,
Nani,
honey.
Nani. Hey, honey.
Um,
I'm getting a little too familiar. How was your Thanksgiving, Nani? um, yeah, I didn't watch that.
I'm
So
excited for the premise. I know that a lot of people are indifferent about Fallen Kingdom, and I think I've said that I was as well coming out of the theater, but upon a rewatch at home, I appreciated it a lot more and
I
got very
watched
excited for the premise of what it sets up for this movie.
I watched
Um,
I watched it two more times at home since the theater, and there's a couple scenes that I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that sounds pretty awesome. Um, but uh, overall, the movie itself was not that good to me. But I am excited about the premise of it, because the premise of the original was it two, where they went to the city, where they were going to go to the city or whatever, right?
yeah.
At the
Well,
end,
at the end in
yeah.
San Francisco.
Yeah, so that always got me excited, but it just never flew well, just so
Well, that one
uh
it almost felt tacked on. I mean, I loved it as a kid, and I still enjoy it because
right.
that was honestly one of my favorite parts of that movie because it just had, as a kid, it's like you've you play dinosaurs when you're a kid, and you're like, the dinosaurs are here in the city, like that, and then the dinosaur drinking the water out of the pool and eating the dog and running through, like putting that, it's like a fish out of water type story.
Hmm.
Um, Putting the dinosaur element here in, a metro city. So, yeah, and it seems like, I don't know, it seems like it's not like, at least based on the Battle of Big Rock, it seems like time has passed where they know that dinosaurs are here domestically.
No, okay.
But so it's not like, because at one point in the beginning, one of like a triceratops or something comes up on this like camp. These people are camping. They're like, oh, it's just one of the, it's one of them, and they're aware that it's not like, oh crap, what, there's a dinosaur here. That's not the case. They know that it's a threat, but they're just like trying to coexist, I guess.
Yeah.
And then a T-Rex shows up. But yeah, so I'm interested to see kind of that progression. But yeah, I mean, the whole drive-in movie theater, just cinematically, it's a really cool juxtaposition, having them there and then the actual T-Rex showing up, the little kid with the popcorn. So I dug it.
I'm sure they'll have the drink with the little dimples in it, like the ripples. So we'll see what happens. Call back.
Mm,
All right, so then we went to MacGruber. Um, MacGruber had like a 6.5 minute jailhouse scene. Um, I did not watch the whole 6.5 minutes or 6:24 or however long it was. Parts of it were funny. Um, I am on record as saying I'm not the biggest MacGruber fan. I think parts of it are funny. I don't think it's hilarious as a full on thing. It just feels like a sketch that went too long. But parts of this were funny. And this is where's this show going to be on? Like somewhere strange, like Roku or TV Guide channel or something like crazy like that. So tell your
mm,
thoughts and I'll figure it
I
out.
don't know. Well, I love the film MacGruber. I never really watched Saturday Night Live while the sketches were going on.
Mm.
I guess I would catch a few of the like shorts, the digital shorts or whatever they would put out. But I love the movie. I think it's super underrated. Um, but yeah, I thought it was great. I'm excited for it.
Peacock.
Don't have Peacock, but I might get it for this.
I got a guy. I got a guy. Just
Oh,
saying.
okay,
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm excited. The movie was one of uh, Val Kilmer's last movies that he did before he got throat cancer, if I
Mm.
recall. And he's great in it. It's really funny. Um, not in he's like he's a straight man, but you know his his name's Kuntz in the movie, and so there's lots of jokes made at his I guess for I don't know. I just I like Will Forte a lot. And I haven't seen what was the show that he did on, was it ABC or one of
Tony's
those?
got opinions. If you saw one MacGruber short on SNL, then you saw them
30
all.
seconds, MacGruber. I mean, that's true. Yeah, they were all very similar, the ones that I saw. But the movie itself, I especially like, I loved how they spent all this time recruiting this team and then they all just blew up in a car at the beginning of the mission.
Yeah, I think there's funny parts. I just don't think it. I don't think. I just think it was stretched over too much time. Like it was like, oh, okay. That's so that and there's a few other SNL movies that kind of feel that way. So
yeah, well, I mean, SNL movies are hit or miss for me. There are only really a few that I enjoy. Night at the Roxbury, obviously, is one of them, and
Wayne's World.
Wayne's World for sure. That's probably the best.
Yeah,
That's definitely the best. But yeah, I mean, Ladies Man.
Maybe Coneheads. Coneheads movie was pretty darn good, but that was like decades after it was a thing.
Yeah,
Chris
Superstar.
Farley.
I wasn't super into.
No,
but
no. Yeah, I can't think. I can't think of all the SNL movies that I've actually seen. Let's see. It's Pat. MacGruber, of course. Coneheads. Let's see here. Blues Brothers. That's a good movie. That's right up there with Wayne's World. Let's see. See, I've typed in SNL movies, and they're bringing up movies with just SNL people in them, but they're not actual characters from SNL. Like, let's see, Ladies Man. That was a character on there. That was not a very good movie. Stewart Saves His Family. That was not very good. But there's tons of movies. I don't know. I would say Blues Brothers, Coneheads, Wayne's World, and Wayne's World 2 are my favorites. Nani's got It's Pat and Wayne's World 1 and 2 are my faves. Have you ever watched the It's Pat movie, Brandon?
No, man, I know what it is.
Do you even know that character?
Yeah.
Yeah. That character goes a long way. A little bit of that character goes a long way. But Julia Sweeney, I think, played Pat. Not a character you could play today.
Definitely not.
Yeah. But look down your nose at us, SNL. So anyway, yeah, I don't know. I'm sure that this will get a lot of eyes. I do believe that MacGruber caught on, even on home video and everything. I think it caught on more than in the theater and whatnot. So it's definitely got a cult following. There's a reason that it's becoming a show. I might give it 1 or 2 episodes, but I just don't see it being something that I'm going to lock onto and want to watch multiple episodes of. So whatever. Well, speaking of watching stuff, Brandon, what have you been watching this week?
I actually have, man, I got a lot of things on my list.
Hang on. Nani's got some more thoughts here. Absolutely not. It was hilarious for its time. At least my sister and I thought so. Nani, I am not holding
Pat, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm sorry. It's like she's very passionate about It's Pat.
Well, I think she's saying absolutely not, that it couldn't be made now.
Oh yeah, I thought she was absolutely not. It's not funny.
Yeah. That's my interpretation. I'm sticking to it. Okay, let me just rack off a few things.
Okay.
I don't let's see. So yeah, I'm still watching Succession. This last episode of Succession, if you're watching, was really great, but like very, very cringe. Kendall, the character Kendall, is probably one of the more cringy characters in this show, and he is such a douche that um, I don't know. He's so out of his element this season that it's so like just you it's like watching like a wreck. It's just you can't look away. But it was good. It was his birthday party, and he's like, Ryan was watching it actually today with Diana in lap and sending videos of things that were going on.
Well, Ryan will explain Diana to
Yeah.
everybody next
he
week,
will
maybe.
at some point. I can't.
Mm-mm.
I won't do it.
Yeah, we can't.
I don't even know her.
Yeah.
So
don't know if I want to
if I
know her.
wanted to.
Don't know if I want to.
Yeah.
she could be a jerk. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, just keeping him from being on the podcast. So far, it's a couple and Cape Gas.
Kudos,
so
Diana.
2 strikes. But no, Succession's great. There's only a few episodes left this season, but I'm interested to see where that goes. But yeah, if you're not watching, I think we talk about that. Ryan and I have talked about it before, so we both enjoy it. And I'm almost done with Ted Lasso, season 2. I finally got around to watching the beard centric episode that everybody was talking about. I gotta admit, I was a little indifferent. I thought it was a good episode, but it wasn't like this monumental episode. There's probably just too much hype behind it, me going into it, and so yeah, it was a good episode. Definitely a departure for the show, but it was fine. But I tell you, the episode that I just watched, which for people that do watch it, which there's a lot of people, the funeral episode. There's a character that has a relative that passes away, and so they all go to this funeral, and there's kind of a dual story going on between the main character who lost the friend or the relative, and Ted is dealing with some anxiety stuff, and he's going like seeing a counselor, and he's talking about things that may be proponents of his anxiety and these panic attacks and things. So they had this dual narrative going on, and it hit home for me in many ways that were unexpected. And I can't really get into the reasons why, but it was a fantastic piece of television, at least for me. A lot of people praise that beard episode as one of the best episodes of TV this year, but I would say that episode was, and it could just be because I related to it in a different way than other people would, but I thought it was amazing, and it made me really have a even better appreciation for the show. I already love the show. It's a really great show, but that episode itself was fantastic. So I think it was episode 10, I think 9 or 10. But yeah, we watched that last night, and I was like, at the end of it, when the credits rolled, I looked over at Melissa, and I was like, well, that hit pretty hard. And she was like, yeah, I was wondering if we needed to turn that off for you. I was like, yeah, I considered it a few times, but anyway, very good. A few other things that I watched. We actually watched Jaws with Luna within the last 2 weeks. We weren't here last week for an episode, so this actually happened the week prior, and I haven't got to talk about it.
Donald like it,
and Donald, yeah, our buddy Donald came over, and they both loved it, and it was awesome seeing both of them. They had never seen it, and so seeing them kind of react, in this movie was. I've talked about it before with like A Quiet Place and Luna and my nephews, and that makes that I love seeing, first time viewers of classic things or things that I enjoy when it comes to cinema, seeing it, physically affect people like that, like movies are, a lot of the good ones are intended to. So that was a ton of fun, and they both really enjoyed it, and I'm interested to see if it's going to have an effect on Luna come summertime when it's beach time, to see if she's going to have
Yeah.
any residual
When,
feelings.
when we originally watched Jaws as a kid, uh, we watched it at our house, and my older sister, to this day, still hates that movie. That and Wizard of Oz get her just terrified. But um, she couldn't go near the faucets in the house for like a good 3 or 4 days. She was scared Jaws was going to come out of the gosh darn faucet. So
Yeah,
terrified.
Melissa's sister thinks that there are great white sharks in the Hartwell Lake here. So when she skis,
Good
their
Yeah.
dad has to like she doesn't want to fall in the middle of the lake. So her dad has to like drive at full speed closer to the dock so she can kind of let go and like coast towards the dock. It's because she doesn't want to fall in the middle of the lake because she thinks
she doesn't know how waterways work. so,
no,
so,
she's not the brightest.
Well, I mean, and by the way, he flipped me pretty hard when I was out there tubing with you guys. So
Yep, I have video of that.
About broke my face. I barrel rolled across the whole freaking lake.
Barrel roll.
So, all right, what else did you watch?
Quickly, some other things that we watched. Our nephew came over the other day, and Melissa, they were all out for Thanksgiving, and he wanted to watch something, and they ended up picking Rise of the Planet of the Apes. And so I was working while they were watching it, and so I'm just kind of like, I'm on my computer and kind of, just like doing things while they're watching it. And Lynn had already seen them. We watched these last year before, I can't remember, with her. And Cleet was just like, there's a moment in the first movie. I remember when they started doing the trailers for Rise of the Planet of the Apes, I was like, and it looks okay. I don't know. It can't be that great. I mean,
they're pretty freaking good.
And then Britt and I went and saw it in theaters, and man, I was blown away by that movie. It's in that moment. It's one of those movies where these movies come along every once in a while where you're like, you just want to show it to everybody. I think Upgrade was a recent movie like that for us, where we just wanted everybody to see it. And this movie, and I would just wait, like when he finally speaks, when he and Malfoy have that yeah, I'm like, because I remember just the gasp in the audience during that moment. Same thing happened here with Cleet and Luna had already seen it, but Cleet was like, "What?" Because he had no association with Planet of the Apes. He's never seen it. He doesn't know anything about it.
He shouldn't. He's too young.
And so we watched that, and then the next night he came over, watched Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
Nice.
Why not?
That's such a good movie.
This one's my favorite out of the trilogy.
Yeah. This and War are tied for me. I do put this one just slightly ahead, but I don't know why I like War so much, but I do. So anyway,
proceed. I like War too, and it's probably, I don't know, it's hard. It's hard for me to choose between that one and Rise.
They're just such beautiful movies, and the freaking CG is used so appropriately. It's not in your face, and you really can't see the seams in the second and third one. You can see them a little bit.
They start off right out of the gate with Dawn, like, look what we've done.
Yeah,
like
in your face.
That close up of Caesar in the forest, and it's like you can't tell. Like it looks like
take this ILM. So it's like,
yeah, for sure.
That's great.
But yeah, so that was a lot of fun too, and they both enjoyed that. And so now we're gonna watch War the next time he comes over. But yeah, that was great. I mean, it's funny because he knew, like, he's like, doesn't doesn't Koba turn bad at some point? Like he knew like things
Mhm.
about the franchise, but I was like, I don't know, maybe, yeah.
Tune in, and find out.
Um, so, but yeah,
Still,
that
that
moment,
scene where he gets the machine gun, like,
yeah,
yeah, that's so good.
that oneer,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. Are you talking about that shot or the one where he's like acting like he's an
The-
imbecile with the
yeah,
other
that,
two
but
guys? Yeah,
pretty much all that, all of the above, that
yeah.
whole series. Such and you know what's funny is I almost watched these about a week and a half ago myself. I was just in the mood. Like, I think it's the snow in War that kind of made me think winter. And then I went from there and just went down the rabbit hole. I was like, I want to watch them. But then I was like, nah, if I watch one, I'm gonna watch all. I'm gonna want to watch all three, and I'm not gonna stop. I got to go to sleep at some point, so I just didn't even start it. I have to be my own parent at some point.
Yeah. Yep. But yeah, so that was fun. That's one of the better trilogies.
Yeah,
There's not a bad one out of that trilogy. Definitely favorites, but
yeah.
I really enjoy all of them. Um, and then I know there's one thing that we'll talk about together lately, so I'll save that.
Mhm.
And last night we started watching the new season, of Always Sunny.
How'd Luna like
Um,
this?
yeah, watched it with Luna. Really likes it. She really gravitates to Frank for some
Yeah, I
reason.
can understand. She just says lines at school all the time.
Yeah. Uh, and it was good. The first episode was okay. It wasn't the best episode. The second episode, because they released two last night.
Mhm.
Second episode was really good. It's Lethal Weapon 7. So they've made another Lethal Weapon. And have a lot of commentary about their previous Lethal Weapons that aren't even available to watch anymore. And they actually comment on that as well.
Oh, really?
Um, and so, yeah, you can imagine. It's that one was very laugh out loud funny. And the first one had its moments, but just wasn't firing on all cylinders for me.
Mhm.
But yeah, I'm excited for this returning. I believe they're doing. Yeah, I think they're doing it. It's still weekly, but they're doing 2 episodes at a time. So that'll be good. What
Awesome.
about you? What have you been watching?
Well, I have told the Criterion Corner folks that I would review a Criterion movie tonight. I'm going to do another one next week because I did make myself watch my first haul before I had a second haul, which thanks to everybody for supporting me on that because everybody's like, I don't know if I could do that. Taste of Cherry is the movie that I watched. Um, then that I'm going to talk about tonight. I did watch all of them before I bought the second haul. I do want to make that clear. This movie is a Palestinian film. This man is driving around trying to find somebody that will bury him when he commits suicide, and he's willing to pay them and everything. But as you can imagine, it's weirding people out. This movie got the Palme d'Or, I believe, in '97. Uh, and so okay. Well, I won't. I'm not going to spoil it there, Tony. Tony said that he still needs to get to Taste of Cherry. Needs to get it. Um, this movie is good. However, you remember the movie Lock, right? Where Tom Hardy's just driving around the car.
Yeah.
That movie is literally just him in the car, and it has like your heart pumping the whole time. You're like, oh my gosh, like this is terrible, and this, that, and the other. This is a lot of this movie is him driving around in a car, and you can tell, you can see their budget on the screen. It's very apparent. The story is really good. I do wish they had made a couple choices differently here and there. Overall, I think this is a good movie to watch if you can. If you like foreign films, I highly recommend this one. If you don't like foreign films, you're not going to like this one. This one also is exactly what Brandon always says. I like wide still shots pretty much. There's a lot of that.
Did you ever audibly say, "Oh, that's a good shot"?
I almost took a couple screenshots. Oh, like almost took pictures of the screen just to send them to you. Like, this is what I'm talking about.
That's a go-to Al response.
Mhm.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
a good shot.
That's a good
It's
shot.
like a vista, mountains in the background.
It's good. It's good. It's good. It's good. It's good. It's good. But no, this movie is extremely like I had to watch like a sitcom after I watched this movie because it just I mean you can imagine just how serious in tone this movie is by the subject matter. So definitely. I did watch a couple Christmas movies. Watched with my movie club. We watched Gremlins, and we all loved it. It was a blast. It, look at our new
Oh,
responses.
nice.
All right, woohoo!
Sweet.
Thanks. Oh man,
Well, thanks for coming.
yeah. This is so
That
ridiculous.
wasn't even intentional, but it works.
Yeah, it worked out. Yeah, exactly. We we get we get keyboard warriors hot over in like Cambodia or wherever that's coming from. Oh, gingers. So yeah, no, Gremlins stands up. And the reason that we watched this is because we had our Christmas get together, and this was one of the 4 Christmas movies that were in the lineup that they could choose from. And this is the one we watched. I am going to be releasing the uh, movie calendar, Christmas movie calendar this weekend. So I'll have a video and just kind of introduce it, but um, I will go back and retroactively have the first dates. I just couldn't get it out in time for it, but we'll try to do this earlier in the year next year. Um, but I also watched what was funny because Ryan sent us a text saying he was watching Just Friends, and I immediately started watching Just Friends because I wanted to watch it. So, again, another Christmas movie based at Christmas anyway. So, again, laughed out loud.
Great.
So I went ahead and the other night I watched Home Alone, which I will be watching later in the month again. And then I watched something that I know Brandon watched, so I thought we would talk about it together, and that is 8-Bit Christmas. Let
Yep.
us know in the comments if you've seen this. If you haven't seen this, we'll try our hardest not to spoil it. It's going to be hard, but what were your initial
It's
thoughts
not,
of
I wouldn't say it's a movie that kind of has any kind of reveal. Well, I mean, I guess there's
the
a little
very
bit,
ending?
but
Does yeah,
um, I wasn't expecting much from this movie.
right?
I thought it would be serviceable and it'll be something that I could enjoy watching with the kid.
Mm.
But I was surprised. I really enjoyed it a lot. Surprisingly. I
Tony's got some remarks. Don't forget to watch Home Sweet Home Alone again.
yeah,
You like the
give it
second
another
watch.
shot. Gets better.
Oh my god, that movie.
But yeah, especially at the end, right when it was over, I looked at Lou and I said, "I'm gonna go call Papa."
call your dad.
Yeah.
um,
But no,
it
I thought it was
it
good. It was just one of those. It had a very like classic feel to it, and it wasn't
well,
like.
yeah.
It was just really. It was a really sweet movie. Had a good message. And yeah,
I
enjoyed it.
think overall the movie was decent. Um, it was basically Christmas Story with a Nintendo. There were parts where they even tried to make the Neil Patrick Harris's voiceover sound like the rhythm of Christmas Story, which that's fine. That's fine. I mean, everybody still apes the Groundhog Day and stuff like that, so that's fine. Um, I did I liked most of the kid characters. I thought most of it was necessary. A lot of it was not necessary. Um, I didn't like how they tried to just squeeze in politics right there. right in the beginning when he starts telling the story to his little girl. I was like,
Mm.
okay. So I was a little bit uh scared they were going to go down that route a little bit too much in the movie. And but overall I enjoyed the movie. I will say this. They got one thing perfectly correct in this movie. The what was the power glove?
Yeah.
That was one of the worst, most like the biggest letdowns of Christmas gifts ever. I wanted that thing so bad, and my dad went everywhere. I mean, to the ends of the earth to get me one. And we fought about that thing on Christmas because it sounded like I was just spoiled, but I really wasn't being, it just didn't work. And my dad thought it did work, and I was just being a jerk about it, but it sucks so bad that it literally ruined that Christmas. I do want to say that they
Yeah.
kind of got their years jumbled up here and there in the 80s, some of the releases and stuff like that. So neither here nor there. I think that's why they just kind of summed it up and said late 80s because uh, the years were all over the place. There were parts. The thing I don't like about, well, I guess we can call this a period piece at this point because it's in the 80s, is that the 80s were a little like you can't have a full bright digital movie that's this clean and just have 80s clothes on. It has to be a little dingier because
Yeah.
it has to have, not that it needs like the overlays or anything like that, just color correction, whatever you want to do there. That takes me out of it a little bit, not a lot. um I liked both the parents choices. I love Steve Zahn, love that guy.
Yep.
And he was great in this. Not great, but he was really good in this. Um, and the little sister, I noticed they didn't bring her back to the dinner at the end, so I was like, okay, so she wasn't there. So so I guess she doesn't visit for Christmas. so, so I was like, okay.
Yeah.
She was my
Falling
least
out.
favorite character in the whole thing. Um, but yeah, I do agree. The ending of this movie saves and excuses a lot of the a lot of the rest of the movie. Um, to like this was so Christmas Story to the point to where they had the bully, to where he had to stand up to the bully eventually, and so on and so forth. So, if you want a modern telling of a Christmas Story, this is it to a certain degree. Um, to where the dad's crotchety and you know, pretty much this, and the mom's forgiving but still unrelenting. Um, yeah, so I honestly don't remember Nintendo's being that readily available back then. Um, although they were released like 4 years before. Um, like they weren't being released in this movie; they were just popular. So maybe that was the thing.
Yeah.
But yeah. Um, but
Well,
overall,
what's
I think
funny
it
is
was worth watching for free.
I remember like they kind of nailed it's exaggerated, but they nailed the idea of there's a kid in school,
Mm-hmm.
he's got money or that he seems to have money and everybody wants to go hang out with him because he has the new whatever. And for me that was always the whatever the video game system was, the the new hotness when it came to video games, because I remember like Sega, like Genesis, I always wanted one, and a friend of mine had one, and I always wanted to go to his house because he had it, and I wanted to play it. But whenever I would go
Mm-hmm.
over there, he would want to go like ride go karts or something. I'm like, I don't want to go ride go karts. I want to stay in here and play the Genesis. Um, so and I also remember that I was whenever the PlayStation 2 came out, we used to rent video game systems. Like we go to the video store and rent an entire system just to play the game.
I remember when people did that.
And I actually paid a friend of mine like $50 because he was like the one of the only people in town that had a PlayStation 2.
Mhm.
Just to I paid him to borrow his PlayStation 2 for 2 days because I wanted to play one so bad. So they nailed that like kid like desire to just like it's all encompassing. You want
I don't know about you, but I don't remember like, yeah, they did go over the top. I think that section of the movie is probably the worst section of the movie, to where how exaggerated that is, and the dog and everything. Um, because I just remember hanging out with people. Like, I had the systems. I had the Sega Genesis and Dreamcast and the Nintendo, and I had all that stuff, and then a PlayStation and PlayStation 2. Um, but I remember we used to go over to each other's houses, and everybody would just congregate there. And then when one mom said, "Hey, you guys need to go outside," we just go outside long enough to get to the other person's house to go to their system. Now, the way that I got my PlayStation was probably one of the most heartbreaking stories ever for me. I wanted a guitar so bad. I begged my mom and dad. I was like 12, something like that. I wanted a guitar so bad, and they were just like, no, no, no. And for Christmas, my psychotic mother, love you, mom, she gave me a guitar case. And I'm like, oh, I'm getting my guitar. I mean, it was seriously, I knew everything about this guitar I wanted so bad. It was an Andy's music. I mean, it was just up there all the time. Nobody bought it. I just wanted it. Um, and my mom, I opened that guitar case expecting a guitar, and it was a stupid PlayStation inside. And she was like, "Gotcha!" And I was like, and everybody in the world was like, "You should be excited to get a PlayStation." I was like, I am, but I wanted a guitar so bad. So a couple months
Well, it
later,
could have been worse. You could have had like clothes or something.
it
At
could have
least you
been
got something
worse. But
cool.
my mom saw how heartbroken I was. The next Christmas, I did. Now I went out and bought my first electric guitar that year. I literally took a bag of change into Andy's Music and bought my guitar. But that next Christmas, I got what I still have, my first acoustic guitar, and it was kind of like the Red Ryder BB gun. It was on the kind of in the corner, off to the side to where I couldn't see it, and it was like, "What's that up there?" And I was like, "Oh!" It was like shining, So, yeah, I still have that guitar, so pretty excited.
So it worked out
Yeah,
similarly as the way it did in this movie.
kind of. Um, I did like the redirection, the where they kind of trick you into believing that he got the Nintendo at the end.
Yeah.
I won't say what that is, but it was pretty good. It was pretty good. They attempted to not make it just like Christmas Story, but it is basically. You can imagine the conversation. What if Christmas Story was like with a Nintendo, like modern? Oh yeah, okay. So,
Yeah.
uh, but anyway, I
Yep.
do suggest you watch it.
I do too. And I think like I said, I think it's definitely better than I expected it to be. And
It's
I
not
think
made for HBO Max. It's just released on there, right?
well, I don't know. I mean,
I think it was in
it's not
theaters too.
released elsewhere to my knowledge. I think it's one of their exclusives. It may have been something that was intended for theaters and they just bought to put on HBO Max. But yeah, um, I enjoyed it. So if you're looking for something, I imagine, and especially based on Al's gushing review last episode, I imagine it's a lot better use of your time than Home Sweet
Way
Home Alone.
better. Way better. Don't watch Home Sweet Home Alone. The movie's just terrible. This has the hijinks that kids can get into. I don't know. I mean, as much as they'll get into a Red Ryder BB gun, I'm sure they'll get into a Nintendo. Anyway, Brandon, have you purchased any physical media?
Yes,
What'd
I
you
did this.
buy?
I guess I don't guess we've had an episode since I bought this. I got Promising Young Woman.
Oh my gosh.
The Amazing, which I talked about this on Capecast, I believe. Um,
Such a
because
good movie.
it was in my head. Still a sticking point for all of us, that artwork, but
Yeah.
I do enjoy the movie a lot. So I'll probably end up just printing out one of the posters and slipping it in there, cover up the artwork that's on there.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Yeah, well, I did buy, I don't have them down here. I always forget to bring, like, I got some soundtracks from different vinyl records.
What'd you buy?
I'll have them on the next episode. I'll have to try and remember to grab them.
Sure.
But yeah, I got a handful of records that have been on my list. So
Anything else?
I don't think so. Nope.
I got a soundtrack. Home Alone.
I got that one too. But
this is pretty awesome. Now you can take the inner sleeve out, and it makes the lights turn off. Technically, this is the Mondo version. It's green, and there's a red vinyl in here as well. Yeah, so pretty excited about this. This showed up early while I was gone for Thanksgiving, and all I could do was think about, man, I want to go get that. And then I got here, I had my mail held, so it wasn't just sitting at my front door. And then they were like, we can't find it. We can't find any of your records, like, because I had a bunch of records come in. And another one of those that I had come in was Back to the Future from Mondo in DeLorean gray. So pretty excited about this one. I haven't opened that one yet. But I did buy some movies, Brandon. As I said earlier,
yeah,
I finally got this in the mail. They kept delaying my order. I don't know why, but hey, at least I got it. I did buy all the Santa Claus movies. I love Christmas movies, so I did watch these on Disney Plus on Halloween night, but now I own them. I can watch them at home. Now I think Tony will be proud of me. I did buy Howard the Duck 4K. This is one of my favorite movies when I was a kid. Now that I'm older, I'm like, how did I watch this as a kid? Because this movie was rated PG back then, but I'm sure it would be rated PG-13, rated R maybe. But
isn't there a love scene?
Yes, there is. Yes, with Leah Thompson and the duck.
Thompson,
yeah. And boy, oh boy, did I like that as a kid. Got all the Indiana Jones movies. You sent over the, hey, this is on sale, so I went ahead and bought it for like $15. It has your favorite one in there, Crystal Skull.
Nice.
Yeah, I got the Grinch movie, the Jim Carrey Grinch movie. I was surprised I didn't own this already.
You know what I hate about that? I do like that movie, but I just don't understand why they made it so dreary and drab looking. It's as far as cinematography, it is a gross looking movie.
Yeah, no, thanks Ron Howard for nothing. Did the same thing to Solo. Alien, I bought the 4K, even though on the box set of the other, I bought the 4K. I really like the cover plus the 4K. So, and Tony will be very proud of me. I walked into a Best Buy and they had one of these Jokers sitting there, and it is Terminator 2 Steelbook. Have you seen this out of and like the packaging, how it's put together and such? I haven't opened it yet. I'll take some pictures when I do. But when you take this off, it's just the robot face, and it's kind of got the pop art kind of coloring. So, nice. Yes, very exciting. Now I did get a lot of other records. They're not soundtracks, but I went a little nuts. Sound of Vinyl, you got my money. So I did buy that Nirvana. Yeah. It's pretty sharp looking. I haven't pulled it out yet because I've got so many Criterion to still watch. But yeah, I'll probably pull it out pretty soon here. But the I did buy the Nirvana Nevermind box set that's coming out in May. I pre-ordered that. It was like $250, but the sale gave it to me for like $150. So I don't know that I'll be keeping that, but as of right now, I might flip that. I don't know that I need a box set of one album, Although I did buy the Tom Petty Wallflower box set, like 7. So as I say that, I'll say that. Hey, our
Oh,
girlfriends are back. All right.
nice. Welcome
Woohoo.
back. We missed you.
Thanks. Oh man. My mom will be proud. All right. So we
Enough watch stream.
yeah. Big shout out to Naked HD XYZ
Yeah.
Enough Watch Stream girls here.
They're on our
Oh,
Patreon.
Yeah. They want us to be on their Patreon.
Yeah.
Yeah, some guy with a bag of chips doing that. All right. So I think we're pretty good. We've talked a lot about movies here, Brandon.
Yeah. I forgot to make a graphic for what's coming out. Honestly, not a lot coming out. I think the most notable movie would be the Power of the Dog movie that's coming out on Netflix. It's the Benedict Cumberbatch, Jesse Plemons movie. It's a Western. It actually looked pretty good. I'm not exactly sure how it's been received because I know it's already screened for critics, but I'm actually interested in that one. Yeah, the other ones I don't. That what was that movie that you were is it the Benedetta? That's that Verhoeven movie. Yeah,
Oh
Benedetta.
yeah.
The Nun movie. Is that it? Is that what that is? That one's coming out, and there's another Diary of a Wimpy Kid. I think that's an animated one though.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, not.
Speaking of
not
Steve
a lot.
Zahn, I like that first Diary of a Wimpy Kid movie. I thought it was pretty good. The live action.
Oh, the Wolf movie with with what's his name, George McKay from 1917, where he's a wolf. He thinks he's a wolf. Were you on here when we talked about that?
Mm-mm.
Who was on? Oh, I think it was you were out. I think it was when you had COVID.
I was dying. Yeah.
I think Alan was on here. Yeah, that trailer looked bonkers. In not a good way.
I have to say, I think the big releases, I really want to see Come On. Licorice Pizza. That's probably my biggest one I really want to see. Of course, Nightmare Alley. Seems like there was one more, but I can't think of any others right off the top of my head that I'm wanting to see.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are. I definitely want to see Licorice Pizza in theaters. The others seem like they might be. Nightmare Alley, I might see just because it's right at Christmas. So I like to go to the movie the day after Christmas, but I'm not gonna rush. I am excited about it though.
Yeah, I know last week. I don't think you're interested in it, but House of Gucci came out last week. I do want to see that at some point. It'll probably be a at home watch though for me.
The Gucci family's not happy about that movie. Can you figure?
I heard.
Oh my gosh!
Ridley Scott was on a podcast I was listening to, and he's a good listen. He does not care at all anymore. Especially he says exactly what he wants to.
1 foot out the door. Why would he care? He just doesn't care. It's like got nothing to lose.
He was really funny in that interview that I listened to.
Well, that's awesome.
But well, not a lot of notable movies coming out this weekend. The House of the Dog or whatever is not even theatrical. It's Netflix. So
Power of the Dog.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, I mean Elizabeth Moss is in that, so I mean I'll definitely not be watching. But Thomasin McKenzie's in that, so that's pretty good. She's the one from Jojo Rabbit and Last Night in Soho. So anyway, she's a good little actress. So look forward
Yeah,
to seeing
isn't
her.
what's his name? I know I said Jesse Plemons, but isn't what's
Kirsten
the
Dunst.
she's in it? Yeah, she is
Yeah.
in it. But also isn't the kid
Paul
from
Dano.
Paul Dano is in it?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm definitely watching it this
I
weekend.
mean, that interests me. Jesse Plemons, Kirsten Dunst, Thomason McKenzie, and Paul Dano interests me, but I can't say anybody else does. Cody Smith McPhee.
That's what I was thinking of because he was in Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. Cody Smith McPhee.
He's in it.
Yeah. I'm gonna watch that.
Okay.
Probably.
Good for you. I'm about to go listen to some of my. You know what? I'm gonna go watch a movie. I don't know what movie I'm going to watch, but be on the lookout for our Christmas movie calendar. It's one that we want you guys to help us edit for next year. So we're going to put it out, and then you guys can tell us where I got it wrong and things like that. I'm sure people are very passionate about when they watch certain movies for Christmas or if they watch Christmas movies at all. Brandon, you want to tell everybody where they can find us before we get out of here?
Sure.
I want you to do me a favor. I want you to tell all your friends about me.
What are you?
I'm
Yeah, you can find all of the goodness that is CiNEMAChiNE at CiNEMAChinePod.com. You can find us. Mainly, CiNEMAChiNE is going to be on Instagram. That's where we do a lot of our interaction there. Capecast is on Twitter for the most part. But we're all, as far as CiNEMAChiNE, it's on all three. In addition to, like I said earlier, Patreon. If you would like to throw some money our way, please do. We will gladly accept it. Maybe we can use it to coax Ryan into coming back on the show.
Yeah. His agent Diana is a jerk.
Yes, so far, not a fan.
So needy.
But yeah, appreciate everybody that was watching live tonight, especially Naked HD XYZ.
Yeah, we got a new subscriber.
Yeah, appreciate you stopping in.
Well, thanks everybody. We're glad to hear that you had good Thanksgivings, and we're definitely going to be planning something for our Christmas episode this year. So if there's a particular movie that you think we need to focus on this year, because we focused on Christmas Vacation last year, let us know in the comments or hit us up on Instagram or wherever. And we'll definitely take that into account. I want to thank everybody that voted on my blind buy. I let everybody vote on what the last movie that I bought for this last Criterion sale. So thanks everybody, and we will see you all on the next CiNEMAChiNE.